boys and girls. Because we have had a couple of days of rain, I thought it might be fun to do a bit of a science experiment. Now, rain is part of a bigger process called the water cycle, and we can actually make the water cycle with things that we find at home. So you can either watch the video and watch me do it, or you can have a go with stuff that you have got at home. Now, what you will need is a plastic bag, like a sandwich bag. It doesn't have to be this big. You can use a smaller one, or you can use a plastic bottle if you've got one at home. You will need some water. You will need some tape. And then if you would like, you can use some markers, some permanent markers, and some food colouring. Make sure you get help with this though, boys and girls, because it can be a little bit messy. So, our first job, and you don't have to do this, but our first job is to draw the water cycle on our bag. I know that I'm a bit of a visual learner, so I like to see what's actually happening, so I'll show you that in a moment. Alrighty, so our water cycle starts off with a body of water. So that's something like the ocean, or a lake, or a dam, or a river. And then, with the sun's heat, it evaporates into the air, like that. And it turns into a gas called water vapor. There's my sun. So that's the first stage of our water cycle. Our second stage is condensation. Now, condensation is when the cloud that's created from the water vapor. So condensation is when the water vapor that was heated up from the sun, after it's risen into the air, it cools down and it becomes a liquid again. Let's make our clouds look nice. There we go. And then the water, or the liquid, in the third stage gets too heavy for the cloud to hold. And that's called precipitation. And it falls back down to the earth through water drops, or sleet, or snow. And it falls back into our body of water. So that's a lake, a river, a dam, or the ocean. And the process starts again. Alrighty, so now that we have drawn our visual onto our bag, or our drink bottle if you're using a drink bottle, we can put our water in to start our water cycle. So, you might need a bit of help with this. We pop our water in, try not to spill. There we go. And then we can add a little bit of food colouring. I'm using blue. You can use a different colour if you'd like, just for a bit of fun. Beautiful. And then give it a bit of a shake to mix in the food colouring. Beautiful. And then we need to make sure that we seal our bag properly, or our bottle if you're using a bottle. Okay. Beautiful. So now that our bag is ready, we can pop it on the window with some sticky tape. Try and pop it in direct sunlight so that the heat from the sun causes the water to evaporate. I'm going to use some sticky tape. If you're doing the drink bottle, then you can just sit it on a windowsill and it'll do the same thing. There we go. And come back in about an hour and we'll check how it's going. Alrighty, so we can see that evaporation has started to occur. We can see that there's water vapor inside the bag. We just need to leave it a little bit longer and wait for some water droplets to form. We'll check back in an hour. Look, do you see the small water droplets inside the bag? Let's check back in another hour and see if they get a bit bigger. We can see water droplets have fallen inside our bag. That's the stage of precipitation. How cool was that? We got to see the water cycle in a bag or in a bottle. Very exciting. Our next job, boys and girls, is to draw the water cycle. Okay, so in your booklet, you will have received a sheet that looks like this. And it says, draw the water cycle. Draw a picture of the water cycle. Use your picture to teach someone about the water cycle. So once you've done this, I want you to go to someone in your house and tell them what you've learnt about the water cycle. Can you remember what our 3 phases were? Our first one was evaporation. Can you say evaporation? Our second one was condensation. Can you say condensation? And our last one is precipitation. Big words, I know. Can you say precipitation? Good job. Okay, so we're going to draw these. I've got lots of different colours that I'm going to use. So our first phase was evaporation. Now that's when the sun... Oh, I'm going to use yellow for the sun. That's when the sun... That's not dark enough. I'm going to use a different colour. That's when the sun heats up a body of water. Okay, there's my sun. Hopefully you can see that. Yep, beautiful. There's my sun. Awesome. So the sun heats up a body of water. Down here like that. And the water turns into a gas. Here we go. And it rises up into the sky. The gas is called water vapour. Can you say water vapour? Good job. And then our next stage is condensation. Can you say condensation? Beautiful. Now that's when the water vapour forms a cloud. Here's my cloud. Beautiful. Now condensation is the second stage. It's when the water that's heated up from evaporation rises into the sky and it becomes our water vapour cloud. It then cools down back into a liquid, and when it's too heavy for the clouds to hold, we get to our third stage, which is precipitation. So I'm going to draw a cloud in the sky again for our precipitation. There we go. And in this phase, once it's too heavy for the cloud to hold, what's going to happen? It falls back down to the floor, down to the earth, okay? So let's see, what colour am I going to use? I might use a different blue so that we can see it. There we go. And it can fall down as either rain, snow or sleet, so it's up to you. You can draw whichever you would like. I'm going to draw raindrops. There we go. So that one's precipitation. It falls back down to the earth and back into our body of water for the cycle to start again. Beautiful. See if you can have a go at that. Thanks, guys.